Welcome to Access, where in this video we're going to be taking a closer look at the specs of PS5. These specs have been available for a while now, but it can be difficult to look at a list of teraflops, gigahertz and gigabytes per second and to understand what it will actually mean for you as a player and what kind of experience it will translate into. And that's what we're going to do our best to explain. We'll be looking at the key areas of PlayStation 5's hardware and the hands-on implications for each one. First though, let's run through the headline list of PlayStation 5's tech specs. This will feature lots of numbers and abbreviations which we'll break down shortly. PS5 features a custom 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU clocked at 3.5 GHz, though capable of variable frequency. The GPU is a custom RDNA 2-based graphics engine with ray tracing acceleration capable of 10.3 teraflops. The system memory is 16 GB of GDDR6 RAM with a 448 GB per second bandwidth. The storage is a custom 825 GB SSD with a 5.5 GB per second raw read bandwidth. PlayStation 5 game discs will be Ultra HD Blu-ray discs with a capacity of up to 100 GB. So what do all these things do, and what difference will they make? Let's start with the GPU. This is the graphical processor unit, which, as you can imagine, is important in a games console. We mentioned two specific things there: ray tracing acceleration and 10.3 teraflops. Teraflops are floating point operations, basically how many thoughts a GPU can have per second. More is good, but it's not the only story in a console's performance. The original PS4 was capable of 1.84 teraflops, PS4 Pro 4.2, and PS5 comes in at 10.3, a significant boost in raw graphical processing power that will make not only for higher resolutions, but also frame rates in PS5 games. The GPU also supports ray tracing, which is a sophisticated rendering technique that accurately simulates the way light moves in real life, and which was not supported on PS4. Ray tracing requires a lot of processing power, but is capable of giving incredible realism to textures like water, glass and hair. If you thought Clank looked particularly shiny in the reveal trailer for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, this is why. What might be an unexpectedly key part of PlayStation 5's performance is its custom SSD, the storage where you'll be installing games and apps. PS5's custom SSD will be 825 GB, larger than PS4's 500 GB. But this comparison doesn't tell the full story. PS5 storage is an SSD, a solid-state drive, which means it's much faster at finding and transferring information than PS4's mechanical drive. To compare again with PS4, PS4's drive had a bandwidth of between 50 and 100 megabytes per second, while PS5's will be more like 5 gigabytes per second. These high speeds are supported by custom architecture within PS5 designed to ensure this information isn't just accessed quickly, but is also delivered to the CPU and GPU, the processing brains of PS5, quickly as well. One aim of all this is to reduce loading times. PS4 could load 1 GB in 20 seconds. The aim is for PS5 to load twice as much in just 0.27 seconds. There will be a lot less time waiting for games to boot, for levels to load in our future. It also means games can access and process more information more quickly, which will open up possibilities for gameplay, in-game environments and visuals too. Both the elements we've talked about so far feed into the CPU, the central processing unit, the brain which performs the instructions of whatever game or app PS5 is running. PS5's CPU is a significant upgrade on that of PS4. Both are 8-core CPUs, but while PS4 features a Jaguar CPU, PS5 features the much newer, much faster Zen 2 CPU. So while PS4 CPU clocks in at 1.6 GHz, PS5 CPU is capable of 3.5 GHz, offering more than double the raw processing power. Other key components in PS5 include the system memory or RAM. This is the working memory of the machine, where data isn't stored so much as readied before processing. PS5 has 16 GB of GDDR6 RAM, as opposed to PS4's 8 GB of GDDR5 RAM. This makes memory accessible at a much faster rate, 448 GB per second, as opposed to PS4's 176. This is in line with the design of PS5 as a whole, which puts an emphasis on super efficient, super quick data location, transfer and processing. Or in other words, this is another part of keeping loading times very small and making games even more impressive. Finally, there's PS5's disk drive. In another upgrade on PS4, this is an ultra high definition Blu-ray optical drive. Basically, it's like the Blu-ray drive in PS4, but offering more capacity per disc. 100GB compared to a dual-layered Blu-ray's 50GB, which means not only will game developers have more space for data when putting games together, but it means you can also watch 4K Blu-rays on PS5. And that's it for our breakdown of the tech specs of PS5, a console with both a serious increase in raw power compared to PS4, and which is also designed strategically to deliver a revolutionary gaming experience thanks to unprecedented data transfer speeds. We can't wait to see how it feels. Thanks for watching, like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for loads more in the build up to PS5.
PlayStation